party over his romance with the David Mark-led opposition coalition. In a statement today, a spokesman for the group, Obiora Ifo, said all members of the coalition once mismanaged Nigeria at one point or the other. Ifo said desperate politicians can bev a new Nigeria, stressing that the Labour Party won't tolerate Obi's alliance with the coalition powered on the platform of the African Democratic Congress ADC, while the former presidential candidate stayed under fire with the Labour Party. You recall, leaders and members of the opposition coalition had yesterday met in Abuja and announced the ADC as the platform for the 2027 election, as the selected former Senate President David Mark and ex-Osun Governor Rauf Aregbesola as interim national chair and secretary respectively. Meanwhile, the acting national chairman of the Labour Party, Nenadi Usman, says the move by the Peter approved the move by its 2023 presidential candidate, Peter Obi, to join an opposition coalition led by David Mark. In a statement today, Usman slams the Julius Aburo-led group within the Labour Party as political jesters with no legitimate standing in Labour Party. Usman stressed that Aburi and those behind the 48-hour ultimatum issued to Obi to resign are neither recognized by the party nor by the law, having long been sacked by the Supreme Court of Nigeria and suspended from the party for their serious acts of discipline and anti-party activities. She explained that the party had given its blessings to Obi to participate in the coalition talks. A political scientist, Jideofor Abid Adibe, says the All Progressives Congress APC will encourage a dissatisfied shifted of the African Democratic Congress ADC, the Mobi Kachiko, to engage in legal disputes with the David Mark leadership of the party, which is bent on wresting power from President Bola Tinubu. Adibe, a professor of political science and international relations at Nasarawa State University, in a televised interview today stated that the ADC presidential candidate in the 2023 election, Kachiko, came in distant feats in a poll with 81,919 total votes. When I threatened legal action against the coalition members, a move Adibe said the APC would embrace to destabilize the ADC.
Who ran as the presidential candidate of the ADC in 2023, saying that he was going to go to court. I mean, this can be expected. This is the only thing that can give him a headline. He came from nowhere, became ADC presidential candidate. And I'm sorry to say this, for what seems to be essentially an ego trip. I'm not sure he even got more than a handful of votes in his polling unit. Now he has come back now to say that he was going to court, he's against any takeover of his party. And then I'm sure the APC and the government of the day will be very happy to oxygenate and amplify his narrative. So but I do believe that the people behind the ADC, the new people, they are not unaware of the fact that it's not going to be an easy victory. So in the coming days and coming months, we are going to be watching out for the hide and seek game between the two camps, between the camps of the government of the day and those supporting the coalition.
The experts, Adibe said the brains behind the coalition are tested politicians with individual records, not people who can be easily dismissed.
Let me start by giving them credit because they seem to have deployed a strategy of what you can call decoy. It seems that the government of the day was kept deliberately in the dark of their moves, knowing that there will be all efforts at torpedoing whatever they plan to do. So severally, we read in the newspapers, coalition hits a rock, and suddenly they came with this idea of ADC. It's still not uhuru for them, but I think to the extent that they're able to get to this level, I think we should also give them credit. And when you look at the people behind, some people call it maybe hostile takeover. The people behind them, you look at David Mark, he was one of the key executioners. He's a man of tremendous courage and a man of technocratic skills. Rotimi Amechi fought Jonathan government to a standstill. So these are people who are also tested.
He also said the MAC-led opposition coalition involving ex-Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi and his counterpart in the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, must be aware of the uphill task before them and should not rest yet. A chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, Dele Mamadu, says that some of the top members of the main opposition party have decided to leave the party for the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Yeson Wike, to join the new opposition coalition. Wike, who is serving as a minister under the All Progressives Congress administration, has remained in the PDP, which has been involved in an internal crisis for years. In a televised interview today, Mamodu accused the APC of sending more to opposition parties, saying that the ruling party does not want competition in the 2027 election.
People are leaving the carcass of PDP to Wike and his cronies. That's all. It was a prophecy foretold. Look, the ruling party does not want competition in 2027. So what they are doing now is to send their moves into every major formidable political party. You can see that even Peter Obi does not, everybody keeps talking about PDP. Nobody is talking about Labour. Is Peter Obi in control of Labour today? The answer is no. Even Papaso that they are trying to woo into APC, is he in control of NNPP today? The answer is no. Because the ruling party has already infiltrated all these parties to ensure that there will be no competition for Tinubu in 2027. And that is why what happened yesterday was audacious enough. I've never seen that kind of coalition. Even when we did coalition for Buhari in 2014, 2015, it was not this powerful and impactful. What I saw yesterday rekindled my hope in Nigeria. That Nigerians will not sit down, arms akimbo, and allow one man.
The media personality expressed his optimism about the formation of a coalition by opposition leaders to wrest powers from the ruling APC in 2027. And Oyo State High Court sitting in Ibadan has dismissed a 5 billion defamation suit filed by Chief Gani Adams, the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land, against activist Chief Sunday Adeyemo, commonly known as Sunday Igboho. The ruling delivered by Justice Oti Ademola Salami also included an award of 500,000 naira in cost against Adams in favor of Igboho. In the case, Adams, represented by a lawyer, Sikiru Akinrele, claimed that Igboho had violated his fundamental rights by allegedly recording a private telephone conversation without consent. As it argued that this breach of privacy contravened Section 37 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. However, Igboho's counsel, Junad Sanusi, filed a counter affidavit opposition opposing Adams' claims. In a ruling delivered today, Justice Ademola Salami dismissed the suit, stating that Adams' affidavit was defective as it had not been personally deposed by him or someone authorized by him. The judge further noted that Adams failed to demonstrate that his phone had been tapped by Igboho, even if the affidavit had been deemed acceptable. You are listening to News Express on Adamimogo 107.7 FM. Ido Ekiti. After the break, Ekiti Assembly confirms Ogunmoye as CJ. Details of this and more when we return.
Hello, good people of Ekiti State and its environment. For your private, political, family, or club meetings, and so on, of not more than 50 to 100 participants, we introduce to you Adamimogo Event Hall. Yes! Right at Olojudo's Palace, Adamimogo 107.7 FM's compound, Ido Ekiti. Ample parking space, good security, clean environment. You also have the opportunity to book for a media publicity of your event on our fast-growing social media platforms. all these. For a talking, simply visit us at Olojudo's Palace, Ido-Ekiti, or call the following numbers for more inquiries: 0803 526 5812 or 0916 340 0878 or 0806 511 4430. You can also call 0806 380 8891. Adamimogo Event Hall. We are waiting for your patronage.
Glad to know you're still there. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel via Adamimogo 107.7 FM for happenings around your news inquiries. Please call our newsroom on this number 0915 786 8095. And now to the rest of the bulletin. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu has described Alhaji Aminu Dantata as a pillar of the nation whose death remains injurious to Nigerians. Speaking while on a condolence visit to the Dantata family, Vice President Kashim Shettima, who represented Tinubu, says that the death was not to the family only, but to Nigerians and its citizens. He urged the family to remain united and not be divided, insisting if it is wealth the owner of the wealth has gone. So this is to say that nothing lasts forever. State House of Assembly has screened and confirmed the appointment of Justice Lekan Ogunmoye as the substitute chief judge of the state. The confirmation was made known at the plenary presided over by the Speaker, Mr. Adeoye Aribasoye, at the Assembly complex in Ado, the state capital. A report says Justice Ogunmoye was accompanied to the Assembly by the State Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Dayo Akpata, Retino of justices and the judiciary workers to appear before the lawmakers. The Ekiti State Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project, LIPRES, has performed the bid opening process for the construction of a dual-functional ultra-modern abattoir in Ado-Ekiti, which pledged that the entire contract award process of the project will be in full compliance with the procurement regulations in line with the global best practices standard. Declaring the event yesterday in Ado-Ekiti, the State Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security, Mr. Ebenezer Boluade, reaffirmed the government's commitment to boosting livestock productivity and improving meat processing infrastructure in the states. Mr. Boluade emphasized the importance of transparency and due process in the bid selection process, assuring contractors and other stakeholders involved in the project of a level playing field. In his contribution, the State Project Coordinator, LIPRES, Mr. Olayinka Dedipe, expressed optimism that the abattoir project will bring significant transformation to meat processing and livestock value chains in Ekiti. In neighboring Ondo State, the chairman of Ose local government area in Ondo State, Kolakbo Ojo, has inaugurated the Eminale Vigilante, a newly established community security outfit designed to strengthen security efforts across the local governments. During the inauguration ceremony, Ojo stated his administration's commitment to protecting lives and property at the grassroots, noting that community safety should be a shared responsibility. He called on residents to support the vigilante cause by providing timely and credible information to assist in their operations, as he also advised the newly inaugurated corps members to maintain discipline, integrity, and a sense of duty while cautioning them against any form of misconduct or corruption. Meanwhile, following a spate of previous altercations allegedly rooted in hooliganism, a fresh wave of violence has broken out between students of Imadi College and Methodist High School in Ondo State. The latest fracas, which unsettled the community, drew the attention of the chairman of our local government, Stokbe Omolayo, who swiftly moved to douse attention by visiting both schools involved. Addressing the students, Omolaya issued a stronger warning against cultism, hooliganism, and any conduct capable of threatening peace and order within the learning environment. It emphasized the need for students to desist from acts that could endanger their future or tarnish the image of their schools and our community at large. On business news, Nigeria must review 2025 budgets to avert crisis, IMF warns. And let's join Oluwabi Falodun for more.
Good evening and welcome to Business Update. The IMF has warned that Nigeria's 2025 fiscal outlook is under serious threat due to falling oil prices, lower production, and weak capital project execution. It estimates the fiscal deficit will rise to 4.7% of GDP, exceeding budget projection. The 2025 budget was based on overly optimistic oil revenue expectations, and current trends indicate revenue shortfalls and expenditure pressures. The IMF recommends immediate policy adjustment, revision of the budget to reflect economic realities, the cutting of recurrent spending while protecting capital investment, and acceleration of tax reforms and revenue diversification. The report also highlights rising public debt, 53% of GDP, and urges cautious borrowing and greater private sector involvement in infrastructure. Despite challenges, the IMF acknowledges Nigeria's recent progress in reforms, tighter monetary policy, reduced inflation from 31% to 23.7%, improved FX stability, and better revenue collections. Still on business, the chief executive of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, Gbenga Komolafe, announced at the 2025 NOG Energy Week in Abuja the approval of 37 new crude country. This initiative, developed in collaboration with security agencies, is part of a broader reform agenda aimed at curbing oil theft, improving accountability, and boosting national production output. According to him, these efforts have led to an increase in Nigeria's daily crude oil production from 1.46 million barrels to 1.7 million barrels per day, with a target of reaching 2.5 million barrels per day by 2026. Komalafe also highlighted the significant rise in Nigeria's rig count, which has grown from just 8 rigs in 2020 to 44 as of 2025. He attributed this progress to bold reforms introduced under President Bola Tinubu's administration, particularly the implementation of Petrol Industry Act and 3 critical executive orders. These include Executive Order 40 on fiscal incentive, Order 41 on local content, and Order 42 on cost efficiency and contracting timelines. Together with this policy, have unlocked over $16 billion in new oil and gas investment in just 2 years. That's all on Business Updates. I am Oluwabi Falodun.
On foreign scene, Portugal's former Prime Minister José Sócrates went on trial today over corruption charges in a long-running case already been dubbed the trial of the century in local media. Sócrates, who led the country between 2005 and 2011, is accused of amassing a fortune of more than 34 million euros, that's about $40 million, while he was Prime Minister. Prosecutor says the former leader, who is on trial with 18 others, used a childhood friend as a front man in a scheme involving a building conglomerate, one of the country's biggest banks, and a tourism complex in the south. Sócrates is the latest in a string of senior politicians to be involved in legal difficulties, though not of the same magnitude. The trial is expected to last several months, while the prosecution alone sets to call some 200 witnesses. On entertainment scene, Grammy-winning Beninese singer Angelique Kidjo is poised to make history as the first African artist to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The legendary singer was among the 2026 Hollywood Walk of Fame honorees recently announced by the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce. Other recipients include American pop star Miley Cyrus, French actor Timothy Chalamet, and American ex-basketball player and sport analyst Shaquille O'Neal. Also honored are Filipino singer Leo Salonga, French actress Marion Cotillard, Indian actress Deepika Padukone, British actress Emily Blunt, and Canadian actress Rachel McAdams, among others. Official dates for the star ceremonies are yet to be announced, but honorees have 2 years to schedule their inductions. And on sports update, Liverpool star Diogo Jota dies in car crash. Bayo Babalola is our guide.
Welcome to Sports Updates. Liverpool and Portugal forward Diego Jota and his brother died in a car crash in northwestern Spain today, weeks after the star got married. The civil guard said a vehicle veered off a motorway and burst into flames shortly after midnight in the municipality of Canadilla in the province of Zamora, confirming the deaths of Jota, 28, and his brother Andre Felipe. Portuguese Football Federation President Pedro Fonseca wrote on social media that he was devastated, calling Jota an extraordinary person, respected by all his colleagues and opponents, someone blessed with an infectious joy and a reference for his own community. Fonseca said they had asked UEFA for a minute's silence before Portugal's Women's Euro 2025 match against Spain in Switzerland today. Jota had married his partner Rute Cardoso on June 22nd, posting a video of their wedding on Instagram just hours before the accident. They had 3 children. The former Atletico, Porto, and Wolverhampton Wanderers star scored 9 goals in all competitions last season as Liverpool cruised to the 20th Premier League title. That's Sports Updates. My name is Bayo Babalola.
Thank you, Bayo Babalola. To end News Express at 6, a recap of our top stories. We told you that the acting national chairman of Labour Party, Nenadi Usman, says the move by the party approved the move by its 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi to join an opposition coalition led by David Mark. Remember, we also told you that an Oyo State High Court sitting in Ibadan has dismissed a 5 billion naira defamation suit filed by Chief Gani Adams, the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land, against artist Chief Sunday Adeyemo, known as Sunday Igboho, noted that Adams failed to demonstrate that his phone had been tapped by Igboho, even if the affidavit had been deemed acceptable. And we lastly informed you that Ekiti State House of Assembly has screened and confirmed the appointment of Justice Lekan Ogunmoye as the substitute chief judge of the state. And that's News Express from Adamimogo 107.7 FM Olojudo's Palace, Ido Ekiti. On behalf of the production crew, my name is Kingseley